Friends, I will talk to you for a few minutes now on ego, its importance, its permitted limitations, the healthy ego and the unhealthy ego, the harmful impact of an unhealthy ego, especially in a working environment, the reasons and remedies thereof. See, ego is a vital aspect of human identity and it has major role in molding our behavior and relationships with others. So, some amount of ego is always okay. But when the ego becomes excessive or distorted, it leads to too much of self-importance and self-centeredness that negatively impacts our personal and professional lives. So an unhappy ego is like a distorted mirror. It reflects an inflated version of the self that is beyond reality. And it can dominate a person's behavior entirely. So an unhealthy ego describes the distorted sense of self-importance. So the people or the managers with an unhealthy ego, they prioritize their own interests and desires above others. And they engage in manipulative behavior to maintain their status of superiority. They have difficulty in accepting the criticism and lack of empathy. Such people focus on this self-reflection and personal growth. Ultimately, an unhealthy ego can harm the relationships and it can lead to negative outcomes. See, it leads to the manipulative or the controlling behavior to maintain their sense of superiority. And following are some of the signs of the symptoms of an unhealthy ego. See, number one, you prioritize your own interests and desires over others. You expect attention, admiration and validation from others. You feel entitled to special treatment or privileges. You don't accept criticism and you become defensive or angry when someone challenges your views. If you're a highly egoistic person, you lack empathy or concern for other people's feelings or well-being. And you engage in the manipulative or the controlling behavior to maintain your sense of superiority, as I said earlier. And you are reluctant to admit when you are wrong. You also often overstep into the other people's boundaries. You don't feel like admitting your mistakes or apologizing when you have hurt someone. You have difficulty with the teamwork and you prefer to work alone. You believe that you are the only one who is able to do the job correctly. You have a tendency to talk negatively about others to make yourself feel better. You have difficulty in celebrating the other man's success, your team member's success, and you often feel jealous when others achieve their goals. So these are some of the symptoms of the highly egoistic people, symptoms of the unhealthy ego. Then what are the causes of the negative ego? There are also reasons, there are also causes for this. So this can result from a variety of factors, including the childhood experiences such as neglect, abuse or overindulgence during their childhood. And the traumatic experiences can also disrupt a person's sense of safety, leading to an over-dependence on the ego as a coping mechanism. The social and cultural pressures to conform to some specific standards of success, maybe the school environment, the college environment or the house environment. It can be for meeting the specific standards of success, beauty or the achievements. It can also lead to an overemphasis of the ego. And even the mental health conditions, they can also cause an individual to have an unstable or unhealthy ego. So while success and achievement can boost self-confidence, excessive emphasis on personal accomplishments, this can lead to a distorted sense of self-importance and entitlement. A person who achieves a high level of success in his career, he may develop an inflated sense of self-importance, and he can also become critical of others who are not as successful as himself. And insecurity about one's abilities, it can also lead to overemphasizing of the ego. So feelings of envy and jealousy towards others, it can also contribute to an unstable ego or unhealthy ego. See, an unhealthy ego, it can harm the relationships. So within an office or whatever is the circle, it can be in the family, in society, in an office, in a working condition. It can stifle personal growth and it can lead to negative outcomes. So individuals have to cultivate a healthier sense of self-worth and build more fulfilling relationships with others, more cordial relationships with others. Remember, a healthy ego is vital for our identity and behavior, but more the ego, more are the dangers. So to avoid greater ego or the unhealthy ego, there are certain parameters that you have to follow. See, number one, cultivate empathy. Put yourself in your partner's shoes. So when I say partner, it can be your co-worker, your subordinate, or your superior, or your friend, if you are in a friend circle. So the partner's shoes, or it can be even any of your family members. So in your partner's shoe, you should get into and try to see things from their perspective, from their point of view, and you have to validate their feelings also. You have to adopt humility. So admit when you're wrong, apologize sincerely for your mistake, and you take the responsibility for your actions. You recognize and appreciate your partner's positive qualities and contributions to the relationship. You seek out your partner's feedback on your behavior and be willing to make the changes based on their input. Friends, you have to share your thoughts and feelings honestly and respectfully, even when it is difficult. So remember that the health and well-being of your relationship or your growth, it is more important than the individual egos. So treat your friend, your peer, your partner or your individual co-worker with kindness, consideration and respect, even when you find that they are not successful or even when they are not correct. Share your thoughts and feelings honestly and respectfully, even when it is difficult. Remember that the health and well-being of your relationship is more important than the individual egos. So you have to treat your individuals with all kindness, consideration, etc. And you have to focus on, you have to forgive them, you should be patient, and you should focus on moving forward together. So thank you friends, thank you very much.